everybody. It has been a long day already. I hope that I did a good job of helping everybody today with the people that came to see me for therapy. But now it's time to change from your friendly neighborhood therapist to DIY Coach Al at Lawn Care and Home Repair. Getting ready to do me a little bit of spring core aeration and even throw some seed down. And I'm going to take y'all along for the ride. Hey everybody, I thought I'd just shoot this video because as you can see, my grass is coming out of dormancy. You can see those spots where it's starting to turn green. It was pretty much gray for the last few weeks. It's just started to green up a little bit, and I'm seeing that the bulbs are starting to come on the trees and things like that. Normally spring is not the best time to do core aeration. You usually want to do core aeration for two reasons. One is when you're looking at planting some seed and you want to do that core aeration in the fall to get those seeds established, those roots established. The only reason I'm doing this springtime spring aeration is because in this part in my lawn, this is the front part of the lawn, I have compacted soil right there where that tree is, where that gray box is right there. My soil is compacted, notoriously compacted in this area. Right here, I do have a sprinkler head, and I have sprinkler heads running all the way down there. As I was coming home one day, I actually ran over this part of the lawn, and I may have to throw some seed down there. But over there, I planted some Jonathan Green Black Beauty turf type tall fescue over there, and in the rest of the yard over there, front yard and the backyard, it was just growing in a wonderful way. But over here, in both the spring and in the fall, I didn't get good growth, and I tried to get something to just kind of go down, see how far a screwdriver would go down into the soil. And it just didn't go far into the soil, so I knew that it was compacted. I did use some hydrotain and some other soil looseners to try to get it to loosen up, but this part of the yard is just really compacted. Now, I do have growth over there. I do have grass that grows over there. It actually, it filled in terms of not having any bare spots. That part was fine. The only problem was that it wouldn't grow tall, and when I was putting the water on the lawn, it would basically just roll off. And that was the case last spring, last summer, and even last fall. Now, I did do a core aeration over in this part in the fall, but I wanted to go ahead and do another core aeration because it was really compacted. So the reason I'm doing this fall core aeration as opposed to scarifying, because I am going to throw some more seed down over there, just slight overseeding, and then fill in this spot right here. If you're going to do seeding in the springtime, it is okay to do that as long as you have good soil condition and you have good growth in that grass, so that that grass that's already established, it's going to help that new grass come along. Don't have to worry about the rain coming in and washing it out, because I do have good grass over there. Don't have to worry too much about the birds coming in and taking it out. So I am going to do a core aeration over here for the purpose of loosening that soil up and putting some new seed there. I'm going to also put some RGS, some root growth stimulant over there, and a starter fertilizer. And I'm going to also, at the same time, I'm going to put some tenacity, some mesotrione there. I don't have an issue with weeds in this part of the yard, so instead of using some of the other big boys on the block, I'm just going to go ahead and use the mesotrione, because that particular herbicide is a pre and a post emergent. Other parts of the yard down there, the grass is really established over here. Not sure if I'm going to use my prodiamine over there. I don't have an issue with weeds over there either. I think most likely I will use prodiamine if I decide to just do a little bit of overseeding over there. Once again, it's springtime, the soil temperature is right, I could do that. But over in this area, because I will be putting more seed down here, instead of using the prodiamine that will not allow grass to grow, I'm going to use the mesotrione, or the tenacity, and I'm going to do an overseeding after I do the core aeration, and then I'm going to put that herbicide down there, that tenacity, that mesotrione down there. I'm actually pretty confident that this area is going to bounce back. I'm thinking that the fall core aeration really did a good job, but just to be on the safe side, I'm going to go ahead, because this area was really compacted. Just to be on the safe side, I'm going to go ahead and throw and do this other core aeration in the springtime and throw some more grass seed down there. I'm going to come back and show you what it looks like. All right, so I'm only going to do this part of the yard. Now I'm actually going to just do the core aeration. I'm not going to actually put the grass seed down now. Then again, maybe I would, because I'm going to also put some topsoil on it. But I'm just going to do this part of the yard, do that core aeration. The good thing is that it rained yesterday. We got a ½ inch of rain, so the ground is not too wet and it's also not too dry. So I did one pass already. I'm getting about a 2-inch core. That's exactly what I want. Just a note, if you have a sprinkler system in your yard, make sure you mark that sprinkler system, because a core aerator will absolutely positively wipe out that sprinkler head. Then you're going to have to either replace it or have somebody else come to replace it. So as I said, I'm just going to do this little bit right here, and I know my sprinkler heads are right along the driveway, so I don't have to worry about marking it. I'm just going to make a few passes in the yard, and then I'm going to come back you won't hear me because I'll have this on. I'm going to come back and show you exactly what it's looking like. So what I decided to do was go ahead and throw some of that Jonathan Green Black Beauty down in this area of the yard. This is the area that, as I said before, I had a lot of POA that I had to just go ahead and kill off. And I had actually planned on using the dense shade mix over here. But what I decided to do was to put the dense shade mix over in this part, because over here it gets almost no sun. So I'm going to go ahead, I went ahead and put down some grass seed over here. Now what I'm getting ready to do is to just put some compost that I had from last year. Going to go ahead and spread that over here, and then I'm going to put it on the other side of the yard too. If you're going to be in lawn care, and if you plan on really having a successful seeding and putting down your compost or your peat moss or your topsoil, you definitely need to get you one of these spreaders. I'm sorry, one of these compost spreaders or whatever you're going to use. This helps, it really does help with you getting an even amount of product down, whatever you decide to use. But using a compost soil peat moss spreader is actually worth the money. I think I got this off of Amazon, maybe 99 bucks or something like that. But really make sure you invest in something like this. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this compost down, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to hit it with my yard roller, and then I'm going to just throw a little bit of water on it. Be right back. Hey, so I hope this comes out okay, because my mic went out, so I'm just using the microphone on my camera. But this is what it looks like. I went ahead and put a top dressing on that part of the yard, as I said that I was going to do. Over there, boy, this grass is really already starting to grow. And last year when I used this Jonathan Green, it really did have some nice green in it, and the yard looks spectacular. So I'm already seeing the grass grow. It's already about 50 degrees or so. You can have a little bit of weed right there. Not exactly sure what that is. So I said I'm going to hit this with tenacity, which is a pre and post emergent herbicide. So I'm going to just show you what this looks like with the top dressing on it. I used compost. I did have a few bags of topsoil that I threw in there already. It's actually pretty thin. So the next thing I'm going to do is to come back. Man, I can't tell you, I'm just so excited. I'm a lawn care guy, so forgive me for sounding so enthusiastic, but look at how green that is already. Man, I am excited about this. So we are done with that part of the core aeration, that part of the seeding, that part of the top dressing. Now the next thing is to get my trusty lawn rollout, unhook this core aerator. Now I'm going to get my lawn roller out. I'm going to connect it to the back of my aerator, and I'm going to roll this lawn. Be right back. Well, I finished up everything on yesterday. I actually was pretty tired by the time I was finished, and I didn't get a chance to shoot this yesterday. But I just wanted to come back and show after I did all of the seeding, the overseeding, the spring overseeding, the core aeration. After I did all of that, I came back out and I did some RGS, some root growth stimulant. And normally I wouldn't fertilize my lawn this time of year, but since I did have to do some overseeding, I went ahead and put a little bit of starter fertilizer in it. So that's why it actually looks so green / blue. But I went over from that side yard over here to the easement, and then over here in the front yard. And a lot of what you're seeing now is not like, oh my God, DIY Coach Al, your lawn is already so green and it's not even in April yet. No, a lot of what you're seeing is the blue dye. I use the blue dye because, as I mentioned before, I actually use a combination of prodiamine and mesotrione. I used the mesotrione or the tenacity because I did do some spot overseeding over here, and I used a combination of the Jonathan Green Black Beauty TTTF, Turf Type Tall Fescue, in places that over here is actually the Jonathan Green Dense Shade Mix, because I don't get a lot of sun over there. And along this path right here, I used the regular Jonathan Green Black Beauty. And then over here where I get almost no sun at all, I did some spot overseeding here too. And as you can see, some of those cores sit on the ground. But after I did all of the seeding, the core aerating, where I was doing that, I did not do a scarifying back here. I'll probably do that a little bit later in the year when I did the scarifying, the dethatching earlier on in the front yard. I didn't really have a whole lot of thatch there. So I said, well, I'll just wait until later on in the year. As I said before, I bagged my clippings. I said, I'll just wait later on in the year and then come back and do a good dethatching, maybe a scarifying. I did use the prodiamine out here because I don't plan on doing any overseeding. I didn't actually use it at the full rate. I cut it back a little bit. That should give me about 3-4 months of coverage. That is going to take me over into the fall. And then if I decide I want to do some overseeding, I believe that the prodiamine will have lost its efficacy by then, and then I'll just use maybe the mesotrione. Obviously, I'll use the mesotrione again to do some overseeding. Now, along the fence line, I don't have any sun over there now, but I do get sun, and I do have some bare spots over here. So instead of hitting this part over here with the prodiamine, because I knew I was going to do reseeding over here, I just hit that with the mesotrione, and I noticed that I have this POA over here. I'm going to hit that later on this spring. I'm not exactly sure. I'm thinking about just getting an herbicide that's specifically for the POA. I may just decide to go ahead and dig that up. I haven't really decided yet. I know that velocity is supposed to be indicated for, but it's really expensive. I don't have that much of an issue with the POA that I'd want to spend $300 getting an herbicide that I may not need that much of. Boy, I wish I knew somebody who in this area who would want to just kind of go in half and split that velocity, because I'm sure other people deal with the POA. And then again, the other thing is I'm not going to do any seeding over here. I might just go ahead and glyphosate those bunches right there. We'll see. But anyway, I just wanted you to see what everything looked like after doing the core aeration, after doing the dethatching out front, after putting down my root growth stimulant, after putting down my starter fertilizer, after doing 2 different types of seeds. After doing all that, this is what she looks like, and I promise I will give an update on any germination that I get. I didn't do the pre-germination like I initially thought I would, but even if I don't get a whole lot of germination, the yard actually it's looking pretty good. It's coming out of dormancy, and I am so absolutely satisfied with it. Please do me a favor. If you like this video, please hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. I am committed, dedicated to growing this channel, and I'm trying to bring the kind of content that could really help other fellow YouTubers. You guys have a blessed and wonderful day. If you'd like to know more information about how to get this spring lawn season started, I'm going to attach a few videos. Y'all be blessed.